We went to go see Risky Business, and it's still awesome.
I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, you never seen Risky... I hadn't seen it since probably high school. I genuinely forgot how much I love this fucking movie. Well, I mean, I remembered really, really loving the hell out of it back when I saw it, whenever the last time was I saw it, but I'm sitting there watching this movie the whole time, like, son of a bitch, I forgot how great this fucking movie is. This is a fucking killer movie. Like, I mean, like, when we were at Dirty Harry last week and The Shining the week before, I mean, that was great. You know, it was The Shining and Dirty Harry in the theater again, but I mean, the last time I saw Dirty Harry was 6 months ago when we watched it or something like that.
Yeah.
This I hadn't seen forever. It was really, really, really badass seeing that on the theater again. I'm really glad they picked this one.
Well, I knew, like, absolutely nothing about this movie.
Other than...
well, because, like, it's so embarrassing. Brad asked me to go see it, and I'm like, all I know about this movie is, like, the crazy sock underpants dance. You had me at hello and showed me the money, and Brad's like, Sarah, those are two different movies.
Those are...
Like,
that's two movies you just described.
Two movies I haven't seen.
Jerry Maguire is also a fantastic movie. I mean, if they showed Jerry Maguire out here, I'd probably go see that one again, too. I'm glad they did Risky Business, because fuck me, Risky Business is awesome.
Well, again, I didn't know it was about, like, prostitutes and shit, you know? I just thought it was, like, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but it so wasn't.
Oh, no, it's like, you know, it's like Weird Science, except instead of making a girl, they just called one.
And she was a cunt.
God damn, Rebecca De Mornay is awesome in this movie.
She does basically
sexy. God damn.
She looked like a baby deer. It was insane.
I love baby deer.
But, like, yeah, so he's wanting to have sex, and he's, like, sitting around a table with his friends, and they're, like, playing poker and bullshitting the way teenage boys do. And, you know, his friend, Booger.
Curtis Armstrong.
And,
Bronson Pinchot.
Bronson Pinchot, yeah. Which when I saw him, I'm like...
Balky!
But, you know, they're like, yeah, you know, you just need to go have sex, you know, just call a call girl. Sometimes you just gotta say what the fuck. And so, at first, Booger, who is so good looking in this movie, we're talking
Curtis
about
Armstrong
like,
rocks.
He was like the ancillary character, but he was so much more good looking than Tom Cruise was. It was like, you know, I almost kind of wish they'd switched.
Isn't that what your mom said though? Like,
oh yeah, I told my mom I was watching Risky Business, and she's like, he was so ugly in this movie because it's before he bought his new face and his new teeth.
I think
he's not ugly. He's just not Tom Cruise looking. You know,
he's young. Yeah.
He did a really good job of pretending to be attracted to women, but
take that, Tom Cruise.
Zing. Well, no, because like the first part of the movie is all about, you know, him wanting to have sex with him, being unable to, and theorizing that he is gay, which many people have, made it kind of a different sort of first half of this movie, because it's like, I wish I could just get a girl, I don't understand why I can't, and I'm having like all these weird fantasies where I'm trying, but something's interfering with me having sex with this girl, and there's like all these like imagery of like him using a hose to like water a flower, but then the hose is
his daydreams.
Yes.
Like, get off the babysitter, Joel. We're coming inside. This is the police.
I assure you have no future.
I think it's good that they got Cruise in the lead as opposed to like Curtis Armstrong, because Curtis Armstrong is, even as Booger and in you know, One Crazy Summer and stuff like that, he's great at playing, in this case, the very smarmy kind of
pipe smoking best
like,
friend.
I don't need to
like
pay for it, Joel. I can get it anytime. So really great at playing that very sarcastic, wisecracking guy who's like also kind of a badass.
He did an excellent job. I'm just saying he was good looking enough to be like lead.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The world needs more Curtis Armstrong in movies.
Second.
And I love Cruise in this, because the role easily could have been played by someone who just straightforward played the part of Joel as a wet blanket. And whenever Cruise, I mean, so much so to where it'd be kind of a bummer whenever a character like that would be on screen. You know, you'd want to see the supporting characters more. Yeah. But Cruise the writing is so good, and Cruise handles it so good too, that in scenes where he is very, very straight-laced, conservative, you know, not too wise in the world, and yet sort of also pretends to be, characters
other characters call him on it. Because, like,
Yeah.
I did the jerk-off motion, like, a couple times to something
Was
he'd said.
a Porsche.
Like, a Porsche, except nothing left. So I'm like, fuck you. And then
Curtis
uses these words like, fuck you.
That's what I mean. There's characters who pop up and be totally condescending to him, which is hilarious. And also in that Porsche scene too, and even earlier on in the movie where he's talking about like, you guys just want money? I want to actually do something with my life and make a difference. Whenever he says something like that, yeah, there is a character on there to make fun of him. But he plays the character of Joel in a way that he's kind of aware that he is a doofus, because those scenes do end with him just laughing like yeah, I'm a putz, you know.
Well, because like it takes place in like this like a northern suburb of Chicago. I don't know if it like will matter when that car or something like that. So it's a very like sort of sheltered group of people, you know. And it seemed like Curtis Armstrong is supposed to be like the more world-wise of them, but he's still. I still thought that half of what he was talking about was bullshit. You know? Like, no, I've had like so many women, you guys.
I've had so many women, Joel. Curtis said. I like because
I'm
like
wearing scrubs with an army jacket. Look at how cool I am.
and like the scene with Bronson Pinchot smoking that cigar, and half of it is just
was in his mouth.
Yeah, half of it is just melted saliva. I love that because they don't call attention to it. It's just something that the character is doing. You know,
It's
they
like,
don't.
oh, this guy's a doofus.
Yeah, there's no attention called to the fact that he's wearing an army jacket over scrubs, or that, you know, he doesn't like
Just,
reference the fact.
pulls out a pipe and starts smoking
Yeah,
it.
he just. I love that. That's so subtle and well done. Like, it really makes me wish that the guy who made this movie is a guy named Paul Brickman. He wrote and directed this movie, and he's kind of just a one-hit wonder in terms of that, because he directed a couple of things after this, and one of them I think was for television. Another one I think got decent reviews, but it didn't do all that well, and he kind of just, he doesn't really do much in the way of movies anymore. I mean, if this is if you're going to be known for one movie, this is a killer one right here. It's a great fucking movie. I mean, I imagine anyone who'd want to be known for one movie would want it to be as good as something like this, because this is a great fucking movie. He did a little bit of screenwriting. He wrote a Chevy Chase movie called Deal of the Century in the early 80s. Never saw it, didn't hear good things.
He did a really good like
Yeah, it was fun.
like classically trained looking hooker dance.
I mean, it's literally, that scene is literally classic Cruise. I mean, he's great. He's got this place to himself, and he's fucking rocking out and doing this shit, and he totally sells that scene. I mean, any scene where Tom Cruise gets to deliver a shit-eating grin,
And
he's perfect.
And even like as goofy as that scene was, it was still like rife with sexual tension, because it's basically a dance in which he humps everything in his living room.
and it's relatively innocent at the same time.
Yeah, so it's like it's a goofy sort of segue, but it also plays into the theme of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, none of this felt like it didn't need to be there.
Oh God, absolutely. Because this is before, you know, shit kind of starts hitting the fan for him, and he's this young kid who's got the place to himself, and at that point, the only thing he's doing to break the rules is, oh no, I'm changing the levels on Dad's stereo, you know? That's great, but I mean, like, people mainly remember it for that, which, like I said, is a great scene. That song works well in that scene, but my God, Tangerine Dream's musical score to this movie is amazing. Is so fucking good.
It like musically and like tonally, it reminded me a lot of like the 80s movies that I tend to like.
Me too.
Like Less Than Zero.
Yeah,
And that one
yeah.
with the greasy neon lights, the name of which suddenly escapes me.
Oh, Vice Squad?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, bringing up Vice Squad, I mean, this movie is, it's 1,000% my kind of movie. I mean, it totally is. It's
again,
funny,
it's
it's sleazy.
It's prostitutes.
Well, I like movies.
prostitutes.
I like movies about the red light district. I like movies about hell. I've made several goddamn movies about hookers.
I did like that she was only there for a little bit, but I liked that the transvestite hooker wasn't played for laughs other than the first appearance. Like, oh no, that's not what I want. You know,
Yeah.
she came in, she pretty much hustled him because it was like, I drove all the way out here, you need to pay me. And then, you know, wrote him a recommendation of a physical girl, and then just left. you
Yeah,
know? She was a cool character, and I thought it was pretty progressive for the time to not make her into a punchline.
Yeah, like a oops gay punchline, you know, something like that. I kind of noticed that too. I was like, well, I mean, yeah, certainly when she shows up, there is that joke. I mean, they still do stuff like that in movies nowadays, and yeah, sometimes stuff like that works just fine. I thought it was funny in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
And the joke was more on Tom Cruise than it was on the transvestite lady.
Yeah, because he's put in an awkward situation right there.
He's so floppy and awkward.
Yeah, and he's trying to get Curtis Armstrong back over there. Like, you fucking called this person. You get your ass over here.
No. Click.
No, Joel. Click.
It's a very like intervention. No, you go out there and you have sex with that woman.
It's also a very physical performance on Tom Cruise's part too. I mean, other than the sex scenes, which are really well done. Other than that,
the one on the train was erotic as shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Though I said that on the way over here.
Yeah, like, he fucks Rebecca De Mornay
on a train.
So I was just sitting there waiting for the whole thing.
In the Air Tonight, playing dude munching on his cookies and shit.
But even like when he fucks her for the first time, when she comes over, and she's got that dress, and he obviously like didn't know she was unbuttoning it from the front because he went to slide it up the back. That was, classic Virgin move, but it looked cool because she made it look cool, which is what you'd expect in that scene.
Then it had the door going open
and then the wind just blowing.
The Tangerine Dream music playing throughout there. God damn, that's a good fucking soundtrack. In terms of Tom Cruise Tangerine Dream movies, I like this way better than Legend. Granted, this is way more my kind of movie than Legend is.
I think I saw Legend like one time. Doesn't he play like a fairy prince or something?
Something like that. The specifics I can't really remember.
I saw him in the woods in like shorty shorts. I think he wore the shit out of shorty shorts in this movie too.
Yeah. Going down to fucking yell at Joey Pants.
I love that Joey Pants
a-hole.
was in this. Well, again, because like it took me a second because I didn't recognize him with hair, but then he started talking. I'm like, oh, okay. And it was funny because I was like, well, I don't remember him being that tall, but then I realized that he's next to Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it was all like camera tricks to make them look of normal heights.
You usually see that I mean, not just Tom Cruise is my height. Tom Cruise is 5'7". But I mean, you see that with a lot of actors too. Like Stallone he's taller than 5'7", but he's not over. He's like maybe 5'10" or something like that. Same with Schwarzenegger, and Statham is
Statham's kind of wee.
Yeah, I mean Statham. I give props to Statham though. That usually Statham doesn't tend to mind when there's someone acting opposite him who's taller than him.
Which I like, because I mean it's just. I'm sure I've harped on this before, but just put a short dude in a movie. Why you've got to like put him on a box to talk to a woman or like shoot him from down there? I have no idea. Men are different heights. Get over it.
Yeah. I mean that kind of thing doesn't bother me either when I see it in the movies. I mean it doesn't bother me when they cover it up either. I think it worked just fine in like the Mission Impossible movies where they make Cruise look like he's 6'3".
Like that does bother me because it takes me out of the movie when he's like standing next to a girl and they're like talking like this, and then it does a cutaway and all of a sudden she's like a foot taller than him.
Maybe I'm used to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to it. I like Tom Cruise a lot. I've always liked the guy. Maybe I'm just used to that in his movies. But I mean, again, not just him. Other action heroes too. But I mean, like I said, I've got no problem when. Well, and you look at that scene in Hooker with a Heart of Gold where you're on top of that rolling rocker.
Well, when I stood up was my favorite part off of that couch because it took like 3 takes because you kept laughing when it just shot past your face.
I kept whoa. Well,
because I was wearing like 5-inch heels, so in 5-inch heels I'm 6'2", which isn't gonna.
And I'm still 5'7". You were wearing the heels and then on top of the rolling rocker too. Suddenly I'm acting opposite Daryl Hannah.
Sarah Smash!
I kept crying. I forgot I did keep busting up on that. But I've never had a problem with it, but everyone knows I'm short, so.
No.
Yeah.
But,
well, maybe not everybody. Like, anytime we go to a con, there's still somebody who's, wow, you're a lot shorter than I thought you would be.
I know. I don't even know what witty response you answer to that.
Anymore, I typically say, yeah, that's the number one thing I get whenever I'm at these, because that's true. That is the number one. Remember the guy who came up, bought something, left, and then came back
to tell you that.
By the way, You're shorter than I thought you would be.
That was worth it, my friend.
I'm taller than Danny DeVito. Come on.
You used to get a Danny DeVito standee to put next to you so you'll look taller by comparison.
So I'll start bringing Nick with me to convention. Actually, I think he's my height.
I think he might be a little shorter than you.
Not by. I don't think he is by much. Like maybe like an inch and a half, or maybe something like that. I don't know. What did you think the movie, going into it, what did you think the movie was about?
Again, like, I just thought it was like a teenage boy coming of age, like, yeah, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you know, where he's kind of like breaking loose a little bit, not like starting a whorehouse by accident. But I liked this so much better than I thought I was going to, you know.
I knew you were going to like
those
it.
Those 80s teen comedies, they're usually pretty hit or miss for me because I didn't really grow up on them. I watched like Made to Order with Ali Sheedy, and that was about it.
Well, that's not a very good example.
But, well, my cousin really liked it, so whenever she came over, we'd watch it. But, like, this was excellent. It was way, way darker than I thought it was going to be, and I think that's why I liked it so much.
I knew you were going to like it. That's why I asked you if you wanted to go. One, you'd never seen it before, and two, like I said, like, yeah, I knew you were going to like this movie, because it's...
Well, plus it's rife with symbolism, which I'm not going to bore you people with, but I mean, it's all, like, in the process of losing his innocence, he's, like, trying to protect his mother's egg while driving his father's penis car, and at the end, it turns out there's a small crack on the inside of the egg that must have happened somewhere along his journey.
You're going to pay for this, Joel. Oh my god, it
like,
gets...
I see what you did there.
It gets suspenseful towards the end of the movie.
Again, I hate to compare it to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but you'd have that sort of like Magic Man, everything's okay moment at the end.
Same with Weird Science. Weird Science does that too, and the parents are coming home, and the house literally magically comes.
It's got like 15 minutes to get all the furniture from the lawn to inside of his house, and luckily Balky shows up. I think he just like sensed that he needed help, and just like hauling furniture in and like setting up the cuckoo clock and arguing about what the placement is.
I don't think the China placements should mix with the other countries.
I don't think it should have different centuries on different shelves.
The banter between all of them is so funny.
It is.
Like, it's genuinely funny, and it's written so well that, like, I totally buy that these guys hang out together. I do. Sometimes when you see a lot of movies with some friends hanging out together, especially movies where they're young people, they usually write them to where they have such different personalities that sometimes it can be hard to believe that they actually hang out with each other. But in this one, like, yeah, they're all doofuses. They're just different kinds of doofuses.
I knew those doofuses in high school.
Oh god,
there's the cool one. There's the one trying to get laid. There's the ridiculously good-looking one for some reason.
That was all of us. That was me, Dave, Nick, Buford, and Mike in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, I had those boys in my high school. They're at every high school.
Oh yeah, believe me, I know. And you got to yell at someone in the theater.
I didn't yell at them.
Hey!
Well, because like when we go in, we're the only people there, and then like a minute before the movie starts, these two girls walk in, and they're chit-chatting, and they're chit-chatting. I'm like, all right, you know, they'll stop when the movie starts. And then the previews start, and they're chit-chatting, and I'm like, okay, they'll stop when the movie starts. And then they're like narrating to each other what's going on during like the Risky Business and then Pan Across Chicago. So I stood up and I'm like, hey guys, you know, I've actually never seen this movie, so if you wouldn't mind keeping your voices down, I'd appreciate it. And they're like, all right, and they just shut up for the rest of the movie. It was magical.
I didn't hear them talking because I was eating some peanut M&Ms at the time, so the crunching sound in my head was, I couldn't really hear him behind you, but I saw you get up and do that. I should have been like, Sarah, I'm trying to watch.
Smack.
I heard him talking on the way out. They're
giving me shit out.
No. They weren't doing that. They were quoting some lines from the movie, and they have a poster inside of the movies they've been showing for the AMC classic thing, so like The Shining, Dirty Harry, and all of that. They were like, oh, I hope they're doing something like this next week. And they look over like, oh, they are. But JFK, well, I don't know about that. That sounds boring. Leave.
They did seem like those kind of girls, but I love them to death because I asked them nicely to shut up, and they did. Which I was contemplating myself, like, if I stand up and I ask them, 90% chance that they're just going to stop talking, 10% chance we're going to have a problem. And I do really want to watch this movie.
They were very nice. And they didn't start having sex either, like in Mr. Popper's Penguins.
If only they had, all right, I wouldn't have bothered them.
Honestly, that would have been You know what? If that's gonna fucking happen in a movie,
Fuck it. Risky business.
Fucking business. God, yeah. I think it's really funny that one of the best movies I've seen all year is Risky Business.
And it was a surprise because you'd forgotten that it was as good.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's not one of those situations where like I remember not liking this movie and then I remembered really digging the shit out of it. It just been so long since I'd seen it. I don't have, over the years, I just don't have much time anymore to go rewatch a lot of movies, which honestly is kind of why I'm glad they were doing the stuff with Dirty Harry and The Shining and all that.
Are you gonna go see JFK?
No, I've seen JFK.
It looks boring. I've never seen it, but I don't think I'd like it.
Do you like conspiracy theory movies?
Boy, no, I sure don't.
Me neither.
Well, it depends on the conspiracy theory movie.
JFK assassination.
Okay, then no, I'm good.
It's a very, very, very well-made movie. It's incredibly well acted.
Is that what the back and to the left business is from that Seinfeld episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I've basically seen it.
Yeah, why not? It's very well made. It's very well acted. It's not that boring of a movie. It's just most of it's a crock of shit. You can yell at me all you want. I don't give a fuck. But I'm not planning on seeing JFK next week. I've seen it before. That's. I mean, if you want to re-show an Oliver Stone movie out in the theater, bring back U-Turn or Natural Born Killers.
I'd watch shit out of that. Yeah. So a lot of people hate that movie, but I really like it.
That's one where when I saw it for the first time, when it hit video, so mid-90s, I didn't much care for it, and then years on down the road, I watched it again, and I like the movie.
It seemed like everyone was all fussy because it wasn't remotely what Quentin Tarantino wanted it to be, but I thought it was a good movie in spite of that.
Yeah, honestly, that's where I lie on that. I mean, I get why people have kind of a preset judgment about it because they really like the original script that Tarantino. I like the original script that Tarantino wrote. I think it's a solid piece of work. And if the movie was like that, it would have been a good movie. But what we did get is still a good movie.
I like extremely offbeat romantic comedies, and I think at the core of it, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And Ship the Unholy Hell out of Mickey and Mallory, and Robert Downey Jr. does an amazing job as well.
Yeah, and that's what Tarantino's script was. It was like the Robert Downey Jr. What was his name in that movie?
Wayne Gale.
That's it. Thank you.
I remember that, but I don't.
Wayne Gale. He was the lead character in Tarantino's script. It wasn't Mickey and Mallory. But what they did do with it, you are right. It is a very fucked up, kooky love story about two fucked up people. And I like that kind of, hell, Risky Business is, about Tom Cruise
basically. Sort of.
I mean, not that it's like Natural Born Killers.
Well,
but
no,
I mean,
in the sense that it's a love story. I'm with you up until a point because she did rob him blind like 3 different times.
Which, I mean...
It was the 80s.
It was the time.
Men found that attractive in a woman.
If it's Rebecca De Mornay, she's...
Business savvy, shoulder pads, legs about this big around.
She really pulled off the hat.
That hat was bitchin'.
Yeah, I would let Rebecca De Mornay steal from me.
I don't think you'd have to let her, is the point.
Well, okay.
I'd let her crack the shit out of my mother's egg.
You could take my shit. God, I love Rebecca De Mornay.
She was really pretty. I don't know what else I've seen her in.
Oh, God, she's still gorgeous. You ever see Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
No.
The remake of The Shining. She's Wendy Torrance in that.
Oh, the made-for-TV one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it once because Brian has this weird fixation with that.
Yeah. She's in the remake of Mother's Day. where she plays a psychopath. That movie kind of sucks, but she's fucking great in it. Hell, Hand That Rocks the Cradle, she plays a psychopath in that too.
She's kind of a psychopath in this one.
I mean, like in like Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Mother's Day, she's like fucking murderous and shit.
Okay, she doesn't murder anybody in this movie. She just robs them and has sex with their friends.
You might like Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That movie, it's one of those early '90s like psychological thriller, like someone's a crazy person and they're after the wholesome family.
I can be behind it.
She plays the wife of a God damn it, of a doctor who's she plays the wife of this like really high powered doctor who's treating this woman because this woman's pregnant, and then she goes in there for an exam and the doctor like molests her. So the woman then brings the doctor up on charges. The doctor kills himself rather than go to court. Rebecca De Mornay is his wife, and she was pregnant while this happened, and the trauma of that causes her to miscarry, and so she wants this family fucking dead. So she goes and applies to be their au pair when the kid is born. So she goes in and like, I think she seduces the father. She kills Ernie Hudson. Not Ernie. Wait. Is there any? Yeah, Ernie Hudson. Julianne Moore is in it, and she kills her in a greenhouse.
Okay.
She rigs it to where Julianne Moore walks into the greenhouse, all the glass slams at the same time, raining glass on her, and murders her.
I like that they would actually acknowledge that would kill someone, because a lot of times in movies people just get like spackled in the face with like broken glass.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that was obnoxious. Anyway, on to my life.
That right there is the difference between Die Hard and Die Hard 5. We saw what glass does to John McClane in Die Hard. In Die Hard 5, it rains glass on him and
Good thing that was breakaway glass.
Tomorrow the only movie coming out is The Best Man Holiday.
You boys have fun with that.
Well, I don't even know why I'm saying tomorrow. I'm going to put both these videos up at the same time. Hey, look down below
Yeah,
you.
look, Best Man Holiday.
It's our video for Best Man Holiday. Sweet.
I'm not there unless everyone gets sick.
Did you have any final things about Risky Business?
Really, really good. Brad likes fucking baby deer, apparently. So hot. Tom Cruise's teeth are kind of jacked up, but I thought he was more attractive in this one, turned out, than he is now, with like the weird smile and the squinchy eyes and the
Going to the
hatchet jaw.
University of Illinois.
I thought they should have like freeze framed and then ended the movie there. Like, yes, job well done movie.
Wow, touche movie. That's a good ending. I mean, there's absolutely zero closure, but
sometimes you just gotta say University of Illinois.
yeah.
But yeah, it was really, really good. And if you, for some reason, haven't seen it like me, I would definitely recommend it.
Fuck yeah, go fucking see. I feel really bad that like this is the last day they're showing it. These re-releases like this, they show it on Monday they show it on Sunday and they show them on Wednesdays. And now we've been going to the literally the last screenings of all of them.
Let me recommend a movie that's not in theaters by the time this video falls.
Right, yeah. You want to go see it in the theater? Can't. So go out to your fucking video store, fucking just buy it. Just fucking buy Risky Business.
I might actually buy this movie because it was really good.
Yeah, Risky Business fucking rocks. I'm really like it is really like they picked 6 movies to re-release, and it is random that they picked this one, but I'm so fucking glad that they did because it was really cool seeing this again.
Yeah, it's been a while since I think there's 2 movies I've seen this year that I'm gonna actually buy when they come out on DVD, and that's Risky Business and Rush.
Oh yeah. Damn good movie too.
I'm gonna keep harping on it until every one of you fuckers see it.
I think it's still playing.
Yeah.
It
Go,
should be
shoot.
anyway. We'll see you.
Bye.